It's that time of year, pushback for 2020, but still a thing. Amazon Prime Day could generate nearly $10 billion in sales. What do you need to know to kick off your week in Amazon Prime Week? It is Monday. This is Money with Friends.
Welcome to the Money with Friends podcast. I am certified financial planner Bobbi Rebell, host of the Financial Grownup podcast, coming to you from my very grown-up kitchen in New York City.
And coming to you from Palm Springs, California. One last time before the Stacking Benjamin Show goes on the move, I'm Joe Saul-Sehy.
Here on Money with Friends, we talk about the latest personal finance headlines. We add in the insights and wisdom of our fantastic cast of thought leaders. We make some questions and comments from our money friends and leave you with a takeaway to make it your own.
It's funny, Bobbi, usually I don't pay any attention to, I have to admit, I don't pay any attention to Amazon Prime Day. I know myself, and I know that money flies out of my wallet very easily. So I want nothing to do with Prime Day. But this year I'm moving, and all of a sudden I'm looking at these deals and I'm going, this would look good in my new house. Could be dangerous. Let's dive in. Let's see which one of our friends is going to help us kick off today's show.
All right. So the piece that we're going to be discussing is by Tanya Garcia. It is in MarketWatch. The headline is Amazon Prime Day could generate nearly $10 billion in sales, according to experts' forecasts. Here are some of the key points about it. The forecaster they're talking about, by the way, is eMarketer. And it's interesting because this is going to mark the start of a holiday shopping season. Normally, this day happens in the summer, but because of the pandemic, they delayed it, and now it's happening in the fall. A lot of the brokerages think this is going to really actually benefit Amazon. Even though there's uncertainty, people are still spending, and this is going to basically pull a lot of holiday sales forward. One of the benefits, of course, is that people are going to not only buy stuff for themselves, as they might have done in the summer, Joe, but they're thinking that they're going to maybe buy their holiday gifts now too, even though it's only October. And it also talks about the fact that now they might appeal to not just the younger people that they usually have appealed to, but to older consumers who've kind of gotten used to shopping online more. And then the final thing that I think is a really good point made in this MarketWatch piece is that a lot of competitors are now jumping on board. For example, we have Target, which is going to offer deal days, which are actually going to be expanded days from a little bit more than Amazon has. And I think Walmart's doing it, and I'm sure other ones are jumping on board. So they basically, not only did they create Amazon Prime as a holiday, but now other retailers are jumping on board. And it's sort of created this whole new reason to spend and have sales, generate revenue.
I love this idea, though, from a creator standpoint. One of my favorite books is called Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. And he talks about not blatantly ripping somebody off, but if you see something that you like and that works, to take it and make it your own. So to some degree, when it comes to retail, there's not a ton of innovation, but Prime Days have proven over and over, Bobbi, that people show up to buy during that time. So why wouldn't Walmart do it? Why wouldn't Target have their own celebration there? There's plenty of people that go, you know what? I don't want to give Amazon my money. Maybe I'd rather give some other faceless corporation like Walmart or Target my money instead.
Well, and remember, Amazon Prime Day is available to Prime customers. And of course, there's a lot of Prime customers, myself included, but not everyone is into that. Some people, are sticking to Walmart or whatever their favorite retailer is.
It's interesting. Tim hanging out with us on Facebook. By the way, if you want to hang out with us, the best place to hang out is our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Money with Friends. Tim says, rumor has it FedEx and UPS are going to be charging extra premiums for shipping around Christmas. So it might be a good idea to do your shopping now. Free shipping has to be paid for somehow. Bobbi, I like the idea of, if you're going to do holiday shopping anyway, you don't want to do the malls. Probably a great time to pick up some deals.
I think so too. And the other thing I think that people should be aware of as a consumer, and having gone through this, trying to set up my 21-year-old's apartment for college, he's now off campus, is that we do have a lot of delays in receiving merchandise. And so if you want something for the holidays, maybe it's time to order it in October, not November, and certainly not at the last minute at December, because you're just not going to get it. It's not even a question of the, last bit of shipping that Amazon might be able to control. There's a lot of stuff that's just out of stock already, and people are getting used to that and having a different sense of urgency when it comes to shopping if there is something specific that you want.
Yeah, and I think you got to start off with that. What do you really want? Because it's easy, I think, to get the fear of missing out, right? By seeing a run on things. And Amazon Prime Days, if you've never taken part, are designed to have you experience FOMO because they show you there's only so many left. And so you go to grab it before it's gone. And they also keep up the deals that went away that you didn't get in on so that it feels like this auction kind of thing where I got to get them before they're gone, which makes people overspend. I mean, that's their goal. But if you start shopping for this or for the holiday, whatever, however you're using it, if you start off with a plan and go forward from there, you're going to not make so many mistakes.
It's also, the technology has gotten really good at knowing you, and it's important to have it work for you, not against you. So one thing that I do that kind of does both, to be honest with you, is if I'm looking for something and I really want, let's say, this blouse, and it's out of stock in my size, they'll say, do you want to be notified when it does come in stock? So that's something you can do rather than buy something that's your second choice. Just wait a little bit for your first choice and see if it does come back in stock. That said, maybe you would not really care that much about having it after 24 hours, but then you get the reminder and you buy it anyway. So it's kind of a good for you that you're buying something specific that you care enough about to put that in, but they do run those cookies, which track what you like, and you will start seeing ads for all the things that you have been shopping for. Sometimes even your spouse does. That's what's really crazy.
I think it's important. I like your point. It's important for you to be in charge and not just following. I think if you're blindly following and you have your credit card out, that's when you make some big mistakes. There's a fantastic discussion going on right now in the chat about people that have bought this early in the buying season for the holidays, Bobbi, and then they can't figure out where the heck they left stuff. I had that with there was a video game a number of years ago that was on sale. It was like a Mickey Mouse video game. And I thought, oh, this is cool. It's a great deal. And Cheryl said, you know what? We'll get it, but we're going to call it a holiday gift for you. So we're going to wrap it up and we'll hide it. And then you'll get it, you'll get it at the end of December. And we never found it. I still have no idea. We've moved twice since then. We even had an estate sale selling most of our stuff. That has never shown up. I have no idea where the hell. Somebody bought my old house and in the back of some closet somewhere, they go, oh, look at this video game. No clue. So strange. Is Prime worth it? Is it really, and the reason I ask is that I was just talking to a time management expert for Stacking Benjamins last week, and she was cautioning people about deal shopping. She said, because the amount of time we spend looking for a good deal ends up being time wasted off of our life, that if we put our life in terms of happiness money, she calls it, if we put our life that way, the time we spend is not worth the deal that we're getting.
I think that's a really good point to make, because sometimes we do get obsessed with that we're saving this amount of money, but really we buy something that we don't like that much. It's better to spend the right amount of money if it's a fair deal. You don't want to rip off. But I know Jean Chaskey did the retail challenge at one point. She's the host of Her Money and a friend of both of ours, where she only allowed herself to buy retail, to pay full retail price for a certain amount of time, which is really hard to do, actually. I don't know that I could actually do that. So, and that way she only bought things that she was willing to really pay up for. But I have a hard time doing that. One tip I want to give people, and I don't remember who told me this, but it was one of my guests on Financial Grownup. And it was that when you pay for something online, it will often give you the option to save your credit card information, which does make it so much easier and frictionless to shop. But that's the point. So what the advice was is don't have them retain your credit card information, so that every time you buy something, you have to go to your wallet and type in that number each and every time.
Give yourself that little circuit breaker. I love it.
Right. So that's something people can do. And it's not like you can't buy it. You can. You just have to go and get your credit card. So it'll take a minute longer. It's one little step you have to take. But if maybe you get distracted, you'll come back if you really want it, but you might not.
I also like the advice too, that if you're going to do something like Prime Days, make sure you have your long-term goals in front of you as well, because we often see the deal on the new sweater or the new cool thing, Bobbi, but we don't compare that with, if I don't buy this and I instead put this in my mutual fund, I could probably retire a few days sooner.
Or, maybe your life will be more enhanced by buying a new Instapot, Joe. Let's be honest. I mean, I've got my eye on an Instapot. We have we have a mini one that I won because I'm cheap sometimes, but I did win it at a mom conference, at the Mom 2.0 conference. I won a mini pot and I wasn't going to keep it, but I did keep it because the moms told me you could make hard-boiled eggs in it, which you can, which is great. But now I want to get a big one. So I feel like if there's something you have your eye on, then yes, you might have to work 3 more days, but you could have a lifetime of enjoyment from that Instapot that you bought, Joe.
Sure. Just have both in front of you. Would I rather have the Instapot or 2 more days of retirement? If it's the Instapot, there's no judgment, but you then compared everything instead of just, getting to retirement. You got all this stuff and you're like, how come I don't have any money saved?
It's that Instapot.
But what's cool is Instapot wasn't around when I was a kid, as far as I know. I don't think that it was, but there are these cool creators making new things and bringing them to market, and you see them then form these companies that have IPOs. And if you wish that you were in early on some of those best performing IPOs of 2019 and 2020, well, Our Crowd is where you want to go. Our Crowd, here's how easy it was for me to get into Our Crowd. I just go to Our Crowd, and we'll give you the URL here in a second. I go to Our Crowd, and there's no charge to get in. And then I can look at all of these companies that are not yet public, that when you look at Our Crowd's track record and how they put together their deals, you're then able to invest ahead of time. And if you know anything about IPOs, that's how people make money when it comes to IPOs. Now, of course, we're talking about initial public offerings, which can be very, very dangerous. However, Our Crowd has in-depth due diligence, including meeting with management teams and generally comprehensive vetting of deals that they decide to make part of their portfolio. The people at Our Crowd are investing too alongside of you. As you review deals, you have access to the Our Crowd investor relations team. You can talk directly on the phone about your personal investment goals and what fits. When Bobbi, you and I have talked to the Our Crowd people, they talk about, if you're going to do this, don't just do 1, maybe do 2 or 3 so that you diversify your portfolio if you're going to get into the IPO game. But if IPOs are something that you want more of, here's how you do it. Today, you can join Our Crowd's investment, as an example, in Mimic. Mimic explains that their tiny robotics allow surgeons to be less invasive and safely perform gynecological surgery so women heal faster and have less scarring. Mimic's a much-needed innovation, a rapidly growing multi-billion-dollar robotic surgery market. You can get in early on Mimic and other unique opportunities. I saw stuff that I buy at the grocery store that I can buy. Ripple is an example of something that I just saw in the grocery store last week.
Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat was one of theirs.
Beyond Meat, that's right. All those opportunities at ourcrowd.com/MWF. If you're interested in investing, you need to join Our Crowd. Our Crowd account is free. Just go to ourcrowd.com/MWF, ourcrowd.com/MWF. Bobbi, Amazon Prime Days coming up this week. What's our big takeaway?
First takeaway, I have a 2-parter. First takeaway is that our audience is giving me overwhelming support for buying an Instapot on Amazon Prime Day. So, and I truly believe that I heard somewhere that the Instant Pots are going to be on sale. So I'm on for that. They are giving me enormous support that it will be money saving, and maybe it'll get me to retire even earlier and also have nutritious meals for my family. My other takeaway is that retail isn't dead. Only the retailers that aren't living their best life are dead. Those that are accepting the reality of the times and have the right mix of products and can deliver, because supply chain matters too, will get the thumbs up and open the wallets for consumers. So I predict Amazon Prime Day and all the retail holidays being manufactured and marketed to us around it will be a huge success.
I would tend to agree. And I also like the idea of, if you're a competitor, figure out how to differentiate. I mean, this is a big differentiator for Amazon. How are you different? And you know what? This isn't just if you're a creator creating something. If you're somebody who's looking for a raise at work, how are you different than the person next to you? And why do you deserve a raise when they don't? I think differentiation is a big thing. And, we're talking about it here at Money with Friends, Bobbi. We're not talking about what's going on at the little store down the street. We're talking about Amazon Prime Prime Day. They clearly not just the biggest, but they're partly the biggest for a reason, which is they continue to innovate and they continue to find ways to be different than everybody else.
Very well said. It's so true. It's really true. And there's a reason that people have conflicted feelings about them, but yet, so many of us still shop there because they do a great job.
I saw a television this morning that will be in my house from Amazon Prime Day. And I'm not
there goes your retirement, Joe.
I'm not a bit big. Where's the retirement? I'm watching it on the wall. It's right there. Yeah. That's my retirement. Bobbi, if people want to help us make the show, we often have Instagram fun. How do they follow us there?
At Money Friends Pod is our handle on Instagram. Stay close to the Instagram stories feed because we do ask you to participate in polls and questions, and you could get a shout out on the show. By the way, at Money Friends Pod is also our handle on Twitter.
Have a great week, everyone. This is our kickoff of the week. Tomorrow, Bobbi, you have one of my favorite journalists coming to join you.
Liz Segran from Fast Company. She covers the fashion business there, so we're really excited to get her insights on all things going on this week. It's a big week for retail, so she's perfect.
Bobbi and Liz tomorrow on Money with Friends. We'll see you back here then. Bye-bye.